Welcome, Cancer. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your meditation. This is occurring on the new moon in Capricorn, and it focuses specifically on the Sun conjuncting Pluto in Aquarius later this month of January 2024. This reading is, however, timeless. I have laid out the African tarot along the axis of the horoscope wheel. I'll clarify with the good tarot, and I have 3 oracle decks that I will use throughout. Thank you for being here. Welcome to all of you new and familiar. I am doing personal readings. The information on that is in the description box below, and hopefully all the information that you need is there. Again, I appreciate all the support that I receive from all of you to do something I enjoy doing, I love doing. So thank you for that in advance. Let's get started, Cancer, with your overall energy. The 9 of Wands. Aquarius got that, and this in the same position, and this is significant to me because the Sun and Pluto, the focus of this particular reading is about the energy of Pluto in Aquarius. The Sun is illuminating that desire to go deep, to dig deep, particularly in those ways that you have been deeply challenged over the Capricorn transit of Pluto, which has been in existence since 2008. Among other things, the mortgage crisis. I'm sure you can fill in the blanks regarding the social changes and dissolutions that have been occurring since that time, a time of great challenge to our institutions of power. This is also about energy that will enter into the earliest degrees, only a couple of degrees over the summer, and will move back into the last degree of Capricorn for just a couple, 3 weeks in the fall before it exits Capricorn completely on to another 15 or so years in Aquarius. So these transits are long and provide us an opportunity to look at some activity that has occurred since that general time, 2008, depending on where it falls in your chart. This is you digging up, looking at, reviewing something that you have worked at over and over again, obviously with some damaging consequences in some instances, but that you are determined to complete, to make a success of, to be victorious. This card represents absolute determination no matter what the cost to you, and in whatever area that exists, particularly as it relates to your partnerships and the resources that you share with a myriad of relationships that you are reviewing and experience the greatest transformation for you. In the 10th house, we have the way others see you, your social identity. And the 6 of Cups is describing a time of peace, joy, pleasure in your through your memories, nostalgia, a time of exercising talents, gifts, things that come naturally to you in a place of enjoyment, of collaboration, of sharing without any judgment, without an agenda or an expectation, so that you are in some way returning to or visiting that time, a relationship or an opportunity, a memory from that time that is reminding you, helping you to recalibrate this experience of achievement that you are moving towards, reconnecting you with the initial and joyful, non-judgmental tenor of that effort that you have been making for a while, the inception of that effort, and ultimately what you hope to experience through this achievement. And this can be simply a full and collaborative expression and sharing in the joy of a particular kind of achievement that can relate to, among other things, your relationships, your relationships in your community, in your place of employment, your professional growth and status that is in some way returning you to the reason why you do what you do, and returning that to your joy, to your heart's desire. In the first house, the Ten of Swords is, in many ways, this is describing the incredible, not only experience of failure, experience of disappointment or heartache that you have undergone, but a recognition finally that these losses, these experiences of disappointment achieved a purpose, gave you information, helped you to see that there was an underlying structure of beliefs and expectations that you were unwittingly, in many ways, attempting to conform to, so that things that didn't turn out the way you expected them to were in part because they were not designed for you to be successful. And instead, understanding that whatever frustration you've experienced has allowed you to finally release these old beliefs, recognize that these were not of your own making, of your own investment, and that you can release perhaps relationships or opportunities that never fulfilled their potential. And you recognize that they never would or never will, and why that is so. So this actually is representing a huge release of misalignments in your life that have been draining and exhausting you. And there may be a huge sense of relief, physical relief, that you're experiencing at this time. In the fourth house, the house of your history, your family, your roots, the Four of Cups is a signature of your practice of aligning yourself now with things that do feel good to you, things that do support you, recognizing that relationships and experiences need not be painful. You need not suffer. And instead, you have begun to establish an emotional foundation that recognizes that you are worthy and deserving of love, support, and assistance. You may be experiencing a wish or an intention that you set into motion some time ago. Again, this is referring to perhaps the beginning of the Pluto ingress into Capricorn in 2008 or thereabouts. It was also the election of Obama at about that time. These are just social markers that are coming to mind that may be significant to you in terms of recalling the mood at a time of great crisis and great hope. You have recognized now the incredible growth and advancement that you have made since that time, inasmuch as this particular offer may not be what you had once hoped it would be. It may not feel the way that you expected it to feel, and hence a sense of disappointment. And that disappointment is you're being guided to recognize some of that disappointment is because of your own growth, because you've released the desire or the need to be validated by others, the need to give your power away or expect someone else to provide the solutions or the love or support that you now have learned you can give to yourself. In the seventh house, the house of your significant relationships, including relationships to your goals. The Seven of Cups is about all the opportunities and choices, the options that come flooding to you as you recognize and release these old beliefs, this desire to measure up to the expectations of others. And the futility of doing so now provides you with options, many of them merely projections of what it would feel like to get back, to get some sense of gratification or satisfaction now that you see what you once thought were opportunities for abundance or love to be addressed. And instead, you are becoming, in perhaps a sense of overwhelm or confusion, releasing this energetically from your physical experience, that sense of exhaustion, that sense of letting down. You may be buoyed up by the temporary thought of all of the options you have that are merely, in fact, distractions from what now you are discovering is for you. Something you're determined to achieve, that despite the cost, despite the consequences, you know is the next step for you to fulfilling that sense of support that you have divided, founded, and grounded your expectations, your dreams upon. I'm going to pull a Soul's Journey card and ask Cancer, if you're resonating with this reading, to please like and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot, to share this video with others, to comment below. And I pull the card Blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. And herein lies the tension between these cards here, where you see the things that were not designed for you. You've released those. You've given those up. You've understood you're deserving of support. But there's still lots of options, lots of woulda, coulda, shouldas, lots of vengeance or revenge fantasies that may occur to you as the release of this tremendous, painful energy. These perhaps years of suffering at the hands of others with the positive intent of receiving love, the expectation that you would be loved, when in fact you were giving away your love, giving away your power with the thought that it would be returned back to you. You're seeing through this illusion. I'm pulling also Flora and Fauna of Africa, and this is by way of appreciating the way our ancestors have prepared us through the symbol of animals and plants from the motherland, no less. And I pull the praying mantis. And the plant associated with that is the stone crop, an incredibly powerful sedum plant. And the key word is tranquility. Be still. Take time to regroup so that you can perform at your best. With patience, success will happen just in time. I'm going to clarify the Ten of Swords in the first house with the Ten of Air in the second house, which I might add is a repeat, just in different language in a different deck, and the Five of Earth in the third house. Some of the Cancers I'm speaking to have experienced a profound sense of lack and inadequacy, in part as a result of a review of failures and disappointments, repeated attempts at winning the approval, the love, or the abundance through or for others, with others, in a way that was not returned. And what ultimately you had to learn was not designed for you, was not created for you, and that your conformity to these expectations was part of your lack of belief in your enoughness. and in a repeated investment in your inadequacy, in falsely believing that others could supply you with something that you could supply elsewhere. In many ways, your desire for support, your request for help, the labeling that you received prevented you from believing that certain things were for you. Certain aspects of prosperity, abundance, support were meant for you, that you were deserving of. And in part, understanding now that a continuous attempt to assuage individuals or opportunities with this continuously giving away investment in the beliefs of others, the beliefs that you were not enough, that you needed others to be enough, is what you are releasing. And this is very burdensome. This is very physically draining for you, this reframing of this lack mentality that believe that they're in a zero-sum game. If they have more, then I have less. As you are moving away from these beliefs that undergirded this belief in some kind of labeling that you received early in life, you are releasing this idea that what others have is any result of what you don't have, or that your having will impact others negatively. This is a whole system of beliefs that you are having to face and release yourself from. In order to release yourself from considerable pain and almost like a kind of a blame game that has perhaps been a feature of some of your relationships. The Four of Cups in the fourth house is clarified by the Four of Water, another repeat in the fifth house, and the Ten of Water in the sixth house. This is interesting. So, yeah, there is this foundation that you are cultivating. Perhaps you have been cultivating, or perhaps as a release of this transit of Pluto into Aquarius that is freeing you from whatever sense of conformity to the system, perhaps a very dysfunctional family system or codependency in relationships that you've been privy to. This foundation is really a reification of this abundant community that exists for you somewhere in your life, that has always existed for you. And perhaps this has been the antidote through friendships, through co-workers, through colleagues that have represented a community of non-judgmental sharing, of sharing resources in a safe place, of being vulnerable in a safe place, in a place that was not safe for you to be. Perhaps, again, this is feeling like a family of origin pattern. Perhaps for you, your work life was not a safe place to be, and your retreat was with your family. However it applies to your circumstances, you understand and know that there is a place, there is a better world where resources are evaluated differently. They're evaluated on the ability to give and share, to recognize all the resources that individuals inhabit, all the strengths we all have, that none are less. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and that we work in and among a community of others to share our resources and thus to learn from others who have had experiences we have not, that have learned from experiences we have not, and the place to process that safely. The Seven of Cups in the seventh house is clarified by the Six of Fire in the eighth house and the Chariot card in the ninth house. Okay, so again, we are experiencing victories. We have accomplished things. We have committed to the team that supports us, that allows us to feel good, that is not difficult, that flows, that is graceful, that allows us to be our most vulnerable selves in a way that acknowledges that these are strengths that we build upon. This is your commitment resulting in victories, personal victories that are translated into successes for the team. This is also your awareness that it is not your job to solve the problems of all around you, that you can coexist, you can exist among a variety of conflicts, a variety of contradictions in your arena, and still focus upon your growth. There is a liberation that has been occurring and is occurring, perhaps as a result of this conjunction of the Sun and Pluto in Aquarius that is being symbolized through this victory, this liberation, this clarity about what is best for you, what serves you, what your authentic goals and desires are. There may be travel and opportunities in this liberation you're experiencing. You're certainly feeling freer to stand in your own space, to stand in your power, to push against those places where you have allowed others to incur into your space, to violate your boundaries repeatedly. So if you seem defensive to others, it's because you're newly flowing into the sense of having boundaries. And though it may feel unfamiliar to others, it does not feel uncomfortable to you. You have released the desire to be like others, to need to be like others, and instead to be in your unique self, to be your original, unique voice. The Six of Cups in the 10th house is clarified by the Two of Fire in the 11th house and the Eight of Earth in the 12th house. It's interesting that you are cultivating now a desire to look towards the future, to turn your vision towards the way that you can have an impact on unfamiliar worlds. And you understand that in order to accomplish this, to be prepared for these opportunities that you are manifesting, you must improve upon your skills, develop yourself, evolve your personality, your gifts, your talents in a way that improves them and brings them to the level that represents the absolute best you can be, your personal best. This so overtakes your energy that this begins to reflect a love and devotion, a duty to the gifts you've been given, to the talents that have been bestowed upon you, to honoring and respecting yourself and recognizing that your strengths are of value and the opportunities you're manifesting are a challenge that you want to rise to. I'm going to finish off this reading, Cancer, with a Hummingbird Oracle. And I've pulled a lot want to fly out. Hum. Try humming to balance and raise your vibration. This is very much about meditation, being in the zone as you devote yourself lovingly to the improvement of your gifts, the polishing of your skills, so that you reach that place of bliss, that place of almost losing yourself in the desire, in the crafting, in the use of your hands, of your creative talents, of the building of the things that you know amplify your value in the world. Thank you so much, Cancer, for this beautiful reading. Until next time, Namaste.